one time looking for a marijuana field that was supposed to be behind the cemetery. And on the way into the cemetery on that particular morning, we found 6 dogs that someone evidently the night before had hung in the trees around the cemetery.
Oh my goodness.
Where are we at, Bianca? Tell us where.
Mary Stuckman's grave.
But we don't know where grave it was. We just know it's right there.
Somewhere.
Hers is in the center of those trees, but the headstone is down over yonder hill. But this is where Mary Stuckman's body is supposedly buried. There's part of the headstone in between all these trees. The headstone is down over the hill on the other side of the fence. The story goes, Mary Stuckman's kids died of a fever, some kind of sickness, wasted away. Townspeople decided she was a witch and buried her. 2 more of her kids had died. They dug her up, cut her head off, and put it on the other side of the fence. She's supposed to be seen out here looking for her head. People I know from the family tell me this is all just a myth. What had happened is her headstone ended up rolling from them trees down over the hill up against the fence, and that supposedly started the story that her head was buried on one side of the fence and her body on the other. Over the years it has made its way down here. But this is supposed to be Mary Stuckman's headstone. See pretty rose on it?
Ready? Tell us the story of Mary Stuckman. You know.
I don't know the Mary. She had a kid. She had a lot of kids.
And then what happened?
And then her husband killed one of them because it was mentally disabled and he didn't want it. And she got mad about it, and so she killed her husband. Right? She killed her husband.
Okay.
And then they got mad that she killed her husband. No. They got mad that her husband killed the kid, and so they killed the husband, townspeople. And she started to get mad. The townspeople killed her husband, so she poisoned her kids. And then they died.
Allegedly, that's all
allegedly. She poisoned her kids.
And they started
and then
dying.
The townspeople killed her because her kids were dying. And then after they killed her, her kids kept dying. So then they dug her up, chopped her head off, buried her head somewhere, buried her body somewhere.
Kind of it, but
That's
yeah.
the story I read on the internet.
Yeah, that's like her kids started dying like one at a time.
Yeah.
It wasn't like she like killed them. They just started dying of mysterious illnesses. But back then they had no way to tell if it was some kind of if they could have been poison, or it could have been they had some kind of illness. We don't, back then they had no way to know.
She was a witch. That's why they killed her.
They thought she was a.
Which is for real.
Oh yes.
Totally.
All right.
Mary died August 29, 1863, at the age of 42. She lived a full and normal life. Christopher later remarried. When his second wife died, he put up a better marker for her. In doing this, he felt like he had slighted Mary because her gravestone was not as nice as his second wife's. To correct the situation, he replaced Mary's original marker and put the old stone at the edge of the cemetery against the fence. The new gravestone has since been torn off of the base by vandals and has been thrown to the edge of the woods. These facts therefore explain why there are 2 gravestones for Mary Stockum. The original gravestone has since disappeared, but the base is still at the side of the fence where it should always remain.
What do we do? Cash me outside. I thought it was shocked and cash me outside. How about that? I can never remember seeing her tombstone here. It was here, they say, at different times, but then people steal it, so it's never. They just quit putting it back.
They just make a new one.
Well, they made a couple new ones, I think, and then they just quit putting it. So nobody even knows which gravesite's hers. See, that tree there, when I was a kid, I know they had it on fire a couple times, and I think they might have that one on fire.
Why?
People
They have built fires on some of the bigger tombstones in the cemetery, which is all in violation of the law. One morning we were called to the cemetery by a township trustee who had found shovel, lantern, and a grave that had been partially dug. The full length of the grave had been dug 6 foot and had been dug about 1 foot deep. And evidently they had been scared off by somebody. They threw their shovel over the fence and their lantern and left them there.
see, if you read it, it always looks like it says Stockum, but everyone around here always pronounces it Stockum.
Yeah.
But it looks like Stockum.
That's the complaints he has had about the Stockum graveyard.
We have answered numerous calls to the Mary Stuckman Cemetery, beer parties, dope parties, what have you. I have spent many nights in the cemetery watching for drug buys to go down. We had information that that was a drop point, a selling point of the drugs. I have seen the younger people out there and some older people at that cemetery, drinking beer, throwing their beer cans around, or what have you.
I don't see no ghost. It'd been cool to like come out here Halloween with some like decorations or like a speaker and play some noises, because you know, like Halloween or so, there's people out here. Have like a speaker playing in the woods of some ghost noises. Something like that's probably how all the rumors got started, though. I wonder what that post is down there for. I have to go look. It's not like a natural thing. The newer post.